top 10 issues that missionaries want to discuss, and we're almost done. One of the exercises we do at our conference in Lake Geneva and with Pioneers is we'll pass out a 3x5 note card to everyone, and we'll say, I want you to write down an issue that you would like to talk about with your peers in private here as a group here. No one from your church or no one from your mission agency is going to know about this. And we're going to talk about this. And at our conference, we spend 2-3 hours talking about it every single night. And they're probably the richest times of the entire week because they set the agenda. And so I've been compiling these lists, and I have 155 of them now. I thought, well, that's too many to share with you. We'd be here till midnight. And then, so I've narrowed it down to 10, actually top 10. Number 11, I was really bad in math, so that's why we have. And each one of these, not that a lot of people wrote the same thing, but they're representative of some really important issues. This one, how do I manage expectations of a ministry team that has differing views of the depths of relationships we should have with each other, together with the demands of ministry? You know, some church planting mission teams we just want to get out into the tribe or to the city, and we just want to minister all those people, and we're never going to connect with each other. That's one extreme. The other extreme is we really need to love on each other here in our team because, man, life is hard here, and all we have is each other, and, you know, let's just feel good about each other and just really encourage one another, and they never get out and do any ministry. And sometimes in teams you'll have people that are polar opposites of that, and it can cause conflict. So that's number 11. Number 10. I love this one. I want to be more gentle, less intense and kind in my dealings with others. I don't like how I respond in competition and games with others. Missionaries, by and large, really love playing table games. I personally hate them, but they love them. But you can see every now and then how some people will get so competitive. Now, the thing I like about this particular one, is how self-aware this person was. He recognized he had a problem. And that's a really good sign of emotional health. We may not know what to do with it, but if we at least know we have the problem, you can go a long way. If you don't know you have the problem, that's a little more difficult. So that's number 10. Number 9. Handling all the shoulds of home assignment. Should see family, should be everywhere for holidays, should stay after church until 2 p.m. every Sunday. All the expectations coming from people who really do love us and want to connect. I see a lot of people at Pioneers, and when they're on home assignment, they talk about this all the time. They're just way overworked, and a lot of churches have no clue as to how exhausted missionaries are because of all the running around they have to do and the expectations that are placed on them. So this one comes up a lot. Number 8. I ended a dating relationship with a man on our mission team. He continues to stalk me and continues to scare me, but the mission leadership thinks I'm overreacting. This is from a woman that contacted us earlier this year, and she was just passing through town. She heard about us, I don't know how, so Janet and I went out to lunch. And she said, I would just really like to talk to you about member care. I'm thinking about getting into that. Well, the more we got into the conversation, the more it was really about her and how to deal with this issue. But she couldn't go there right away because she didn't know us and she needed to trust us. The thing that's interesting about this is that man that was a stalker was the nephew of the head of the mission team. Yeah. And there's that relative thing. This woman, she must have been 30. She would start crying in the restaurant and literally shaking. She just didn't know what to do. Imagine if that was your daughter going through that. What would you do? And there was no one that she could talk to about this. And she loved her job. Number 7, it seems to be getting harder and harder to relate or connect with extended family. Why is it? Is it just my issue with the past, or is this normal? One time at Pioneers, this issue came up with a lot of people, and so we had a panel discussion of 5 people, and every one of them had horror stories to talk about how difficult it was relating mostly with their parents. And these are people in their 40s and 50s, and siblings, and how they didn't even like coming home on home assignment because it was so difficult trying to navigate through those relationships. Number 6, how do you handle a conflict in a loving, kind, peaceable, but confrontational manner with coworkers and other people, including family? How to handle conflict. The thing that struck me was that word confrontational. That's used way too much, way too much. And I don't remember if we had got a chance to talk about that, but that was something that came up, the whole issue of conflict and then being confrontational. Number 5, how to deal with leaders above you who are very insecure. That comes up frequently. Number 4, working really hard with little acknowledgement, too little prayer, too little rest. Isn't that just the discouragement just kind of shout from the screen or drip from the screen? That's a common issue. Number 3, how to be fed spiritually while living in a country and attending a church that does not use your first language, especially if you do not speak the local language well. 2, how do you respond when people put you on a pedestal, view you as a hero, saying you have incredible faith to be able to leave your home and family to serve in a foreign place, and things like, I could never do what you do? One missionary said, it's like, when I hear that, it's like scraping your fingernails on a blackboard. He said, and she went on to explain why that is. Missionaries do not like to be put on pedestals because, as one said, if you put me on a pedestal, I can't have a relationship with you because we don't relate to people on pedestals. And I want to be friends with you. I want to know all about you, what you're dealing with here back in the States. And I'd like you to know what I'm dealing with, too. So, okay, the number 1 issue missionaries want to discuss, the one that comes up over and over again, is this one. How do I balance family and ministry responsibilities? Are these disconnected or are they integrated in God's plan? How do we deal with others' expectations, and how do we stay on the same page as husband and wife? The thing that makes this such an interesting dynamic, and I think Jason and Kelly alluded to it, is I see everybody else is working 30 hours a day, and I can only work 18, and what's wrong with me? And you start to feel pressure from other people and that are your peers. In the meantime, your kids need you. One of them might be struggling in school, and they need you to help them with their math. But how do you balance all of that is a very difficult issue. It's difficult for us here in the States. It's especially difficult for those on foreign fields.